I grew up in a very weak family. I always, back when I was a kid, I always used to see, when I came back home, I used to see wine on the table. I used to see drinks being poured. I used to see a lot of weakness. And it became normal for me to just come back home and I would see my parents start drinking. My parents, they wouldn't take care of themselves. They wouldn't work on themselves. They wouldn't do anything personal development. They would take care of us kids, bring us home food, and yeah, look, just what parents do. That's it. But then there were these moments that didn't make me feel safe or didn't make me want to stay at home as much as I would like to. It made me seek for something I'm more outside of me. Go outside, run, trying to escape. Oh, if I sit at home, somebody might get mad. Somebody might start screaming, and then I will be stressed, and I don't want to experience that because I experienced it a lot. When I was 11 years old, we lived in Curacao. We lived on an island, and they started drinking one night, and out of nowhere, my mom swung the knife in my stepdad's shoulders, and I was looking at that. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, what? I just pick my sisters. I put them in the room on the side. Just close the door, and then I go out and I run out uh, to like help my mom with my stepdad because they're fighting. I don't want them to fight. Then I pick up a knife as well. And I hit him on the side of his head as well. I didn't know what was going on. I was a little kid. I was scared. And then what happens is that he goes to the hospital. If we make a long story short now, he goes to the hospital. Then he's in the hospital, and I remember him telling like, "Oh, you made Minnie try and kill me. You made Minnie try and attack me." Minnie, that's like my nickname in the family. My name is Minnie, and I didn't think about that too much. And I remember I went to the hospital. I go to the computers in the hospital, just play video games, try not to think about that. And then I come back home from the hospital, just sit on my iPad, and you may think that everything is normal, like, oh, you just move forward. But as a kid, you're trying to make sense of all of this. You're just starting to remember stuff and understand how the world works. I was just 11, 12 years old, and he didn't get no answers. I tried to search up what happened that night in the island Curacao. It was like, well, back in 2014 to 14, 15, and I tried to search up the date. I tried to find some news on it because that night there came a bunch of journalists that took photos of us at that place, and I could never find any news. I couldn't get any idea of what it was happening. And my mom, she just was speaking to her friends on the phone, and my sisters, I couldn't really speak to them. I had nobody to reach out to, nobody to let know what had happened and how I felt and how it had affected me. And this is what I see most things going on these days as well. People don't want to face their truth, the truth that are holding them back, which is being expressed in other ways. Because as I grew up, that was the first time things like that happened. As I grew up, I just saw some more chaos, and I just didn't want to be around chaos. But me not being around chaos made me go outside and create another kind of chaos. That is what I knew at that time. I just knew chaos. So I went outside. I wanted to get chaos because I saw it was exciting. There was something going on when you did some crazy shit, when you were trolling with the people, when you were having fun. But instead, I just was ruining me and not facing the truth that I had to solve the internal issues within me instead of going outside and doing some crazy shit. And these days, my young men, they think that it's all outside of them. It's all outside. Oh, I just need this girl. I need this money. I need that car. I need this. You don't need nothing outside of you. You need to face what it is within you. Stop ignoring that call from within. What is it that you cannot? Can you speak about your past proudly? Can you speak about it without tearing up? Because I remember when I even tried to mention this to people, I was scared. I was like, bro, I don't tell this to a lot of people, but I feel comfortable with you, so I'm gonna tell you this, man. And I told them, but I was so like scared to talk about it and even mention what has happened to me, because I felt like nobody would care, nobody would listen, nobody wouldn't pay me no attention. And that is the problem we see. Most young men, they get pushed this, oh, work, work, especially now in this day and age in 2024. After all of us young people who were born in to the 2000s, we have some kind of trauma, but we don't want to speak about it, and we think that is gonna make it better. We run to the things outside of us to try and solve this internal problem. That's what I was doing back in the day. I was trying to run through all the things outside of me, try everything that was outside of me instead of just tapping in, quieting the things, and finding another arena to get my knowledge from, self. Because the past experiences you have had, it's wisdom in them. There's wisdom because you have done something. Knowledge is just information. It's you can know something, but wisdom is you have done it. There's more knowledge within wisdom. That's why quotes are so powerful, because it's a lot of knowledge and wisdom compiled into one short thing. I like the German proverb, the one who rests grows rusty. Because once you wake up, once you tap into yourself within, and you understand that, okay, so I was using weed as a crutch, I was using alcohol as a crutch, I was using all these external things as crutches. Now, what do I need to do? I need to find another crutch, basically. But this time, you find a positive crutch. You find a crutch that will bring you some kind of fulfillment, something that builds you up and keeps you on sane, basically. Because the the negative crutch you had in the past was drinking, smoking, doing the parties. That was a negative crutch. It didn't build you up. It was just destroying you. Sure, it may have worked in the short term. In the short term, it may have worked, but in the long term, it doesn't work. It's gonna build you, break you down. So you need to find a crutch that's gonna be positive. For me, it's working out, entrepreneurship, self-development, biohacking, experimenting with myself, and creating content, helping people also see things from a more spiritual perspective. Once you begin to see things from a more spiritual perspective, life becomes a lot more easier to deal with. And you almost wish that shit, man. I wish everybody was just more spiritual, but it's not like that. And well, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna preach the spiritual message. I'm gonna change it, and we're gonna get some more people more on this spiritual POV, because it would be a lot more easier if we had the spiritual POV and we understood the unseen realm as well, and understood how the external realm, how it affects us within, and also just pushing a message of positive growth, pushing the message of giving up, of persistence. And we all have the common enemy, which is our family or somebody who's around us that may have put us in situations that we didn't want to be. But I cannot be mad at my family. I love my mom. I love my stepdad. Even though all that shit happened, even I experienced all that bullshit, but doesn't matter, because I I had those dark times, which I know are gonna lead me to the best times. We always know that it's the darkest before dawn, and the ones who experience the most darkness, depression, bullshit, or like, this is the worst time of my life, how am I gonna make it out, you're gonna experience the most highest of times of your life. You're gonna act like, oh my god, why am I being this blessed, why am I getting this much stuff for. You're gonna be happy, or not happy, but you're gonna be more content on a higher level, because you experience that low. That's the duality of life, the yin and yang, the yin and yang inside life. Because if you look at the yin and yang, you see the white ends where the black starts, and the black ends where the white starts. these spiritual concepts really help you make sense of more experiences within your life. And you may be scared, like, oh, what spiritual things? Why should I explore that? I'm atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in this and that. It's because if you're atheist, you don't believe, you don't have the faith of something greater than yourself. You don't have the faith of a higher realm. The way to gain that faith is to understand your own mission, understand yourself. Because you haven't looked into yourself, you haven't tried to search for the truth. And of course, the truth is not gonna be displayed to you if you have not sought after it. You need to also look after the truth, and it's gonna be shown to you.